Okay, so that's our graphical user interface setup. I'm not going to change it throughout the course of the tutorial. That's it, it's finished. So we're going to hop over to the main program. Now, if you've never programmed in object-oriented language before, then perhaps this is going to be very, very confusing to you. However, I'm going to take it nice and easy through it, so hopefully you'll get some idea of what's going on. So let's take a look at just the center section. I'm going to ignore the left-hand pane for the time being. This is our entire program. Okay, from public class down to the end bracket is our entire program. Now, inside that program, we can have sort of sub-programs running, okay, little programs working, and that's what we're going to be doing in this section. We're going to have what we call an asynchronous program running. So we're also going to have our main program. So we're going to have two sort of sub-programs. Now, the asynchronous part, you'll need to know for your theory. So if you go over to your theory books and read through asynchronous programming, you'll get some idea of what's happening here. Now, when you start this program, your phone is given over to your program, and until your program ends, that's what's going to happen. And if we were going to sort of ask for data from a database, in general, it's going to be quite quick. You're going to get a few lines of code. Now, it won't make any difference. But you can imagine that if we've got a database with about 1 million records and it's trying to go through all of those records, your phone is going to lock up and not be available to you again until it's finished processing all those 1 million records and giving them back to you. And that could take minutes to hours to even days. And we can't allow that to happen because we still need our phone. We still need to be able to answer the phone when the phone rings. We still need to sort of move from one program to the next program, and we don't want our phone locked up. So what we're going to do is sort of have two programs. Our main program, which I've highlighted in blue here, and that I'm going to give the name, let me just type it in here, as the main user interface thread, and we call these small programs that we're running threads. What they are is processes that run in the background. You may have seen it in Windows when we looked at the processes. There's lots of tasks running, and they're called threads. So this is our main program, and this one will sort of work, and when we press a button to move on to another program, this will be put on hold and your phone will be fine. However, we're going to use another thread which is going to read the data, and that's not going to lock up the phone because we are separating it out from the main program and we're letting it run on its own. Now that's what the asynchronous means. It's going to keep going until it's finished. Then it's going to come back and it's going to say to the main thread, hey, I've got the information for you, here you go. So it's going to work in an asynchronous way. In other words, it's not going to be in sync with the main graphical user interface. So the way we're going to do this, now if you're new to object-oriented programming, there's lots of new language. I am not going to explain it here. We will go through that in when we deal with object-oriented programming. I'm just going to try to put the code together to get you started with your Android. So what you would need to do is just copy the code out and see if it works and how it works. So I'm going to start off with my separate program. I'm going to start off with the asynchronous task, okay, or thread. Just put a comment in, and it's going to be a public class. Okay, it's a new class inside a class. So there's my main program there, and I'm setting a new one up here. And if I call it a JSON task, so that we know what's happening. Now, it is going to work on the code is already written, or the majority of the code to make this work is written. We're going to sort of reuse that code and just put a little bit of our own in. And to be able to reuse some code, we're going to use the keyword extend. So there's already a class that exists called asynchronous task or async task, and we're going to use that and just add our own code to it. So there we go. I've typed the A and I get up my help. If I just type S, I've got async task here. Now notice it's got an angled bracket with params, comma, progress, comma, result. Really they're just 3 strings. Again, if you go and take a look at the help files, it will tell you a little bit more about them. I'm actually going to change these words for the word string, but if I click on it, it's not going to put those parameters in for me. I have to do them myself. So a string followed by a string followed by a string. It's going to take 3 strings. Now that's automatically set up. It knows how to handle those. That's the beauty of object-oriented programming, is a lot of the information is known. It knows what it's doing. So at the end of that, I just need to open up my braces so that I can set my code. You might notice that I have a red line underneath it. Now the reason why that is because this program that we had before, async task, which already exists, and we are sort of writing a subversion of it, it says that I've got some functions in me already and you need to set them up. And if you don't set them up, I'm not going to work. And there are 2 functions we are going to use at the moment. One is called do in background, which we can see there in yellow, and there's another one called on post execute, which I will explain later. But if I don't implement these, then the program's not going to work. Now we do get a lot of help. Again, in Windows, maybe you can right click and choose implement the tasks. On this one I think I've got to press the little button. No, that's not working. So click back on async task. There we go, a red light bulb pops up. I know now that I've got a load of things it will let me do, and the one that I want to do is implement the methods. When I press that, it's going to do a lot of the coding for me. Now perhaps you don't have this, or you've missed it out, and you're going to have to type it out yourself. So I'm going to press it, and it's going to give me the option. The one that I want is the do in the background, and I'm going to click OK, and it's typing in the code for me. You don't need to do that. You don't need to select it. You can type that in yourself. However, if you're lazy like me, you won't want to do a lot of typing, and again, you can make a lot of errors getting the brackets and things in the wrong place. So this would be a useful tool for you to learn how to use. However, it's only given me one of the 2 implemented methods that I need. There are several more, but it's happy now. It's not going to crash. So what I've got is I've got my main thread, sort of my main program working for my phone. So everything's going to appear on my phone. It's going to be happy. I can move from one application to the next. I can take calls. I can use the calculator. I can dial people. And I've got another one which is going to work in the background. Okay, talking to the database, getting all my database information, waiting till it's got it all, and then it's going to pass all that information back to my main program when it's ready. And now that could be within seconds, it could be within minutes. But that's what asynchronous programming means, that it's not working in sync with the main program. So let me get back out of here.